Hi, and welcome to Headspace. I'm Dr. Shelby Harris. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist who specializes in behavioral sleep medicine. It's been quite the year dealing with the pandemic and all the uncertainties that arose from it. It's no wonder that anxiety has spiked amongst young adults and why there's been such an uptick in sleep issues. Today, I'll be talking about the correlation between sleep issues and anxiety and how they can sometimes exacerbate each other. I'll explain why our bodies react the way they do to perceived stressors, and then share some tips to help ease your anxiety when it comes to bedtime. Let's dive right in. First, it's important to know that anxiety is something that can impact any person, regardless of age or gender. And having occasional anxiety is actually a very normal part of life, whether it's anticipating a big meeting or crossing a busy street. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors were able to anticipate threats by feeling a sense of fear, which served as a survival tactic to protect us from harm. Imagine if an aggressive animal comes at you. You react with a fight or flight response. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense up, and your stomach might feel like it's in knots as it diverts energy to other systems. Feeling anxiety is very similar to this fight or flight response. The key distinction is that with anxiety, you anticipate or believe there is potential danger in situations where there might not be any. So having anxiety is your body's hardwired and programmed way of responding to any kind of external stressor. When anxiety becomes a real problem is when it starts to feel unmanageable and impairs your ability to function in daily life. There are several types of anxiety disorders that affect over 40 million people in the United States, according to the ADAA. When it comes to how anxiety impacts sleep, let's focus on generalized anxiety, or having excessive worry about a number of different things. Here, you might see anxiety create two big sleep disturbances: hyperarousal and sleep awakenings. During hyperarousal, you feel wide awake in bed because you can't quiet your brain from worrying or overthinking. So even though you're trying to relax, your body and mind are reacting the same way they would when perceiving a stressor, which in this case is the worrying itself. Cortisol is a hormone that's produced by a complex network known as the HPA axis within the brain, and it gets released into the bloodstream during a stress response. What's interesting here is that the production of cortisol and our sleep cycle, regulated by the hormone melatonin, both share the same HPA pathway and follow a similar circadian rhythm. So if you're up feeling anxious and stressed at night, the HPA axis might get too active and start disrupting your sleep cycle. This can cause fragmented sleep due to awakenings, or in some cases, insomnia. It's within the normal spectrum to have 1 or 2 not so great nights of sleep per week because we all face stress from time to time. It becomes a problem when you don't sleep well routinely for weeks on end. This is where sleep disturbances and anxiety create a bi-directional relationship. The sleep problem started as a byproduct of anxiety, but now there's heightened anxiety around sleep itself as you feel pressure to go to bed quicker. So let's talk about some of my favorite tips to help anxious sleepers get better night's sleep. If you find yourself worrying excessively at night, it might be helpful to schedule in worry time a few hours before bed. This is a journaling technique that can help train your brain to block off a set time to acknowledge all of your worries and concerns. By doing so, you're giving undivided attention to your worries, but also not allowing yourself to fester in unproductive thinking all day and night. Set a timer for 20 minutes and sit down in a comfortable spot with a sheet of paper. Then write down all the worries that are rattling around in your brain, free of judgment or conclusions. It can be anything and everything from I'm stressed about that big presentation tomorrow to I'm such a horrible sleeper, or even tasks that are causing anxiety like have to remember to email so-and-so back. What people tend to discover through this daily practice is that although they feel like they're constantly worried, they actually have a hard time filling up the allotted 20 minutes. Read and reflect back on what you wrote down. And over the course of the next few days and weeks, notice which worries keep coming up and which ones actually lessen. For those of you who are solution-oriented, try the productive worry time technique. Here, you'll jot down all your worries on one side of a piece of paper, and then any next steps or solutions on the other side. And sometimes the solution might be that there is no solution. and you have to practice acceptance and letting go. By practicing productive worry time well before bed, you allow yourself the peace of mind that you've already addressed and documented what needs to happen. And if you find that you're worrying excessively throughout the day, you can gently remind yourself that you have a designated time to process each concern. You can tell yourself, nope, I'm not going to worry about that now. I'll worry about it during worry time. Exercise is known to be a great stress and anxiety management technique. Daily 30-minute exercises can increase our serotonin levels, reduce cortisol levels, and activate frontal regions of the brain that help control the amygdala, which drives our fight or flight response. Beyond that, the changes in body temperature that occur during exercise mimic the circadian rhythm of our sleep-wake cycle. You see, when we exercise, our bodies naturally warm up due to the conversion of stored energy into heat energy. Our bodies then cool down through sweating, lowering our temperatures even after exercise is completed. This warm-up, cool-down pattern is similar to our body temperature's natural rise during the day and fall at night, which is necessary to promote sleep onset and to sustain sleep itself. So exercise that occurs at least 4 to 6 hours before bed can help you get into a sleepy state. A nice hot bath is another activity that promotes relaxation and also cools you down afterwards. Just be sure to take it an hour or two before bed so your body isn't still in a warm state. And one more note, make sure your bedroom environment is also cool and dark. And finally, I encourage everyone, not just those with anxiety, to cultivate a daytime meditation routine. By doing so, you can strengthen your mindfulness mental muscle that can in turn help redirect and let go of some of those worrisome thoughts later on at night. So if you find yourself lying awake with anxiety, try to lean on those practice meditation techniques, like doing some deep breathing, to ease the pressure of falling asleep and be kinder to yourself.